Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Stanley Dyrector Show. Listen, we have to get on with the show immediately because I have two wonderful guests. Actually, they are Hollywood icons who are functioning so well because they have written everything in this town. They are, actually, their names are Irma and Rocky Kalish, and they are writer, producers, and Rocky's also been a director. And I have to ask my esteemed guests. And by the way, Irma was also a Valentine Davies Award winner, I must tell you guys, because that is the most prestigious award that the Writers Guild of America West gives out.
I'm still applauding.
Oh, hey. Irma, Rocky, how did you guys get together? I mean, was this a merger made in heaven?
It was a
made
merger,
in the Bronx, wasn't
made
it?
in the Bronx at PS 73 to be exact.
On Anderson Avenue.
Anderson, yeah, with steps going down to Jerome. I was in 4th grade, and a new little girl came into our class.
That wasn't me.
No. And the teacher said to me, would you please show her the ropes? Tell her so she gets used to things. Her name was Joyce, a familiar name to you, I think, Stanley. Mm-hmm. And she became my very best friend. And she had an older brother. And her older brother was Rocky. I paid no attention to him then. I still don't. But but in any event, I knew him as her older brother.
I'll vouch for that.
You did so many shows, though, and brought that edge, that grit, like Police Story. And Police Story was really a wonderful series. David Gerber produced it. Stan Kalis was a producer. Yeah. A friend of mine, Mark Rogers, was one of the leading writers of that.
I did the pilot, and then I did 2 subsequent episodes. Mm-hmm. And I discovered another interesting thing there. I'm glad you brought that up. When I did the 2-hour pilot of Police Story, and I was busy, doing my shtick and loving it and saying, man, I am so goddamn good. Oh, am I good. And I can remember doing a scene with Vic Morrow and saying, I'm just chewing this scenery up one end and down the other. I am looking so good. And then, I'm doing the scene, I'm looking at him face to face. And I see Vic Morrow, and it's nice, but there's nothing thrilling there going on. And then I saw the show when it played, and I looked at that scene with Vic Morrow, and I said, "My God." I'm looking at him like this, and I don't really see anything, but that camera was just sucking stuff out of him, and he undoubtedly was providing it for the camera to suck, and the acting that registered on his face in that 2-man scene, I'll never forget. And for the first time, I finally realized what it meant when they say that the camera loves somebody, because that camera loved Vic Morrow.
Another quick impression, one of my favorite actors. You ready for this one?
Go ahead.
Carl Malden, all right? Carl Malden. All right, here we go. All right, how you like that? All right, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. You think I'm sick, don't you?
Well,
Yeah.
actually...
A lot of people think I should see a shrink. I went to a shrink yesterday. Look what he did to me. All right, enough of the bag stuff.
No, that's...
Well, we just had fun, okay?
What a handsome guy.
Yeah. Oh,
Look
man.
at this guy.
Call
Look
me
at this
Friday,
guy.
we'll pick out furniture. All right, go Stan. I guess we did have, oh, by the way, you left your underwear at my place last night.
Murray,
You want 'em back?
look, this is...
Where'd you get those magnifying underwear anyway? Those are pretty cool.
Murray,
Yeah, I like those.
Mr. Langston, this is a educational show.
It's Miss Langston, by the way. I guess
No,
nobody
well,
told you about the operation.
No, they actually not this week. But
Anyway. Okay, we're here.
How did this Michigas, this craziness?
Michigas?
Well,
Can you
it's
spell that for me?
A place in
M-A-
Michigan. I spelled Michigan,
Michigan,
correct.
okay.
But how did you become the unknown comic?
Oh, good question. How did I? Well,
How did you
I
yeah.
used to have a really bad complexion, and it was cheaper than Clearasil. Okay, let me put it that way. No, actually, okay, we go back. Let's go back a few years. I used to be
Okay.
on the Sonny and Cher show.
Right, I remember.
I
yeah.
spent 4.5 years with those guys,
Right.
Sonny and Cher, and then I bought a nightclub. I made some money, and I bought a nightclub. Restaurant, and I specialized in bankruptcy, which and became very successful. But I lost all my money at that time. And the club was interesting though, because guys like David Letterman started there. Gallagher,
Wow.
first place he worked was my place. Deborah Winger, the actress, was one.
Is that right?
Was one of my waitresses.
Is
yeah.
that you're kidding?
Michael Keaton was discovered at
Batman.
my place. Yeah,
Wow.
he was. His name was Michael Douglas back then.
Wow.
And there was a guy named Harry Colombi who used to manage people. He managed like John Byner, and he was in my club one day. And saw Michael Douglas doing his act and said, and took him on and made him a big star. Yeah, absolutely true. But Letterman, can you believe Letterman came from Indianapolis and started working on my? I still remember the first joke he did on my stage.
Go ahead.
He went and he said, "Yeah, I just read the Inquirer. The headline said why Robert Redford won't talk about his dead son." Now there's a puzzler. Hey Bob, how's that dead kid of yours? I don't want to talk about it. But he had that sarcastic sense of humor even back then.